Welcome back to the Racing House. My name is Saki. Today I woke up and I chose F1 violence. Because Formula One is often hyped as being at the top of motorsport, engineering, and for its ability to get fans to pay for races that might even never happen. And I, for one, can't wait to see all of your reactions as that gets edited out of Netflix's Drive to Survive. I'm talking about the disappointing Belgian Grand Prix, which sent me into something I call my F1 depression. F1 must be a pretty powerful force that it can do that to me, and it can get away with absolutely boopsing people like that. I'm sure that isn't a real word, and I'm gonna try and get away with using it, just like F1 swerves certain things. It did make me realise though, there are a number of things about F1 that are immensely painful, stupid, and laughable.
We are the studio house.
If someone was to ask me why I watch F1, I definitely wouldn't tell them any of these things. So to keep me in line and help tell the stories, we have Remy.
Hello F1 stands.
Remy is a young fan, just like me. Oh, okay. And you. Quite recently, he's a Ferrari fan and also wonders why on earth he started supporting Ferrari when he could have had his pick from Red Bull to Mercedes or even Williams. But my guess, because I'm legally obliged to say this, is that he really does believe in the Ferrari master plan. Oh, sorry. So let's address the elephant in the room. Ferrari are the oldest team in F1, the most luxurious brand name, and they have actually perfected the formula for making a whole nation fall out of love with the sport. It's an absolute mazzoline, given they've got loads of coin, a clear bias in their favour from the FIA, but dare I say, the worst social media admins on Insta and Twitter. Shout out to the Mercedes and Red Bull admins for keeping us all entertained. I know you're watching. But hold up, before you say it's old news about Ferrari, I've heard it all before. What you're about to hear will blow your mind. I have evidence to suggest that Matteo Binotto is my biological dad, making me the natural successor for the number 2 driver in Ferrari. Once they realise that I am obviously part of the family, please just give me some kind of job at Ferrari. Really need this. Sorry, getting back on point, because I've kind of forgotten about Ferrari's influence until Ferrari started winning, getting pole positions, and all of a sudden they had a car that was more powerful than a fighter jet engine on those straights against the Mercedes cars. But they got busted, and you know what happened? Because I don't have a clue. Apparently, soon after breaking the rules, they were punished. My best guess was that Ferrari were told to turn their engines down and that they'd only be having three home races instead of one the following year. What? What a way to punish the Italian team. It's like being at school, cheating on your exam, getting caught by your teacher, and then saying, listen, I'll cut you a deal. I'll tell you exactly how I cheated, but only if I get to keep all the points and rewards for all the tests that I've cheated on in the past. Yeah, Ferrari ended up helping the FIA make sure no one else could do what they did. Quite a harsh punishment, really. Which brings me to the next question. What other team would be able to get away with such behaviour? Aston Martin must have lost their
I'm extremely angry.
Oof, even the Ferrari interns were able to keep their mouths closed. And if you ask me, they are the real F1 goats. Forget Senna, Schumacher and Hamilton. Here is where the beat drops. Ferrari are literally on the board of FIA members. What? That can't be right. Are there any other F1 teams on the board of FIA members? Let me know in the comment section. I really want to be proven wrong. Moving nicely on to the topic of one of the drivers in the thumbnail for this video, Nikita Mazepin, also known as the most disliked driver in the whole of F1. Now our man Remy here is an aspiring young driver, and if he one day bumped into Nikita whilst he was doing some charitable work, let's say, and asked him for some advice,
how do I make it to F1?
Mazepin will say to him, work hard bro, be fearless, and this is the most important part, make sure that your dad is rich so that when a struggling F1 team needs help, he's perfectly placed to take advantage. Sponsor said struggling F1 team, and then get back to whatever billionaires do in their spare time. Go to space, I imagine.
Hold up, what if you don't have a rich parent?
Well, then as long as you have the talent, you can aim for the next level down maybe. As a reserve driver where you can, for example, recreate racing lines to prove Red Bull right, and as part of the Mercedes family, continue to get ignored in favour of a current driver from a completely different, unrelated F1 team So all in all, Remy, it's quite simple, eh?
Just off to get some adoption papers ready.
It's not all doom and gloom. He secured one title in F1 already. The title for being the most talked about rookie to enter F1 before the season had even begun for behaviour that was unacceptable. Beating the son of a goat, a 5'2" potty mouth, and a middle-aged two-time world champion rookie to the title. Ending on a positive note though, he has done some very admirable work with charities recently. It's almost like he's realised how he's perceived in the F1 community and changed his ways to rebalance the equilibrium. Or he's hired a very expensive PR firm to improve his public image.
Okay, that PR plan is going well then.
So I'm an optimist and I'm going to go for the very first option. I think it's clear to see I have a love-hate relationship with F1. I love the way that it's given me a hobby that I'm obsessed with, and you as viewers, but I hate the way that I can't ignore these imperfections anymore. A clear example of this is when we all have those moments online and with social media where we lose control and enter the F1 rabbit hole of content, where we can spend literally 25 hours in a row lost online and only stop because, well, we can start to smell ourselves going off.
Yes, I can smell it on you now.
This process forms a very big part of my very fulfilling hobby, researching new YouTube videos to put out to you guys. One time though, I came across something that was quite strange that was being searched a lot. It's something to do with the glitz and the glamour of F1 being at the very top of motorsport. Actually, I misled you. It's quite worrying that this is being searched so much. I am in fact talking about how F1 drivers go to the toilet. Yes, this is one of the most searched questions from F1 fans, you little dirty bastard. You have tried to hide it all this time, but I've busted you all.
Busted. Please keep this between me and you.
Billions are spent on trying to make F1 cars go faster, and they still haven't figured out a way how F1 drivers can drop a turd mid-drive or take a slash. It truly is a cockpit. Now that just about finishes off this video. If you've got any topics that you want me to discuss that you think are just ridiculous and are not really discussed in F1 despite it just being laughable, let me know and I'll be happy to try and cover it in future videos coming up in the series. Until next time everyone, thanks for watching.
Goodbye.